Oh, I lost everything. All my gigs gone.
Really?
Everything gone.
Hollywood is a mad place, and by mad, I mean it's a dog world where shit goes down so fast that many famous black actors lose their careers for some of the most stupidest decisions you can imagine. Here are 10 actors who destroy their careers in a matter of seconds. Let's go. Number 10, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Gooding pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge stemming from allegations he forcibly kissed a worker at a New York nightclub in 2018.
More than 30 women have come out to sue the famous actor Cuba Gooding Jr. of doing bad things to them. Well, you know, like really bad stuff. In June 2019, he was arrested for forcefully touching someone in places he shouldn't be touching.
Gooding has claimed that the encounter was consensual.
As at the time of making this video, he has been officially charged on 3 accounts of sexual misconduct. Fortunately for him, he didn't do any time, but he went on therapy and counseling. But no amount of therapy and counseling seemed to save him from getting blacklisted in Hollywood. Number 9, Jussie Smollett.
I'm pissed off.
What is it that has you so angry?
In the early mornings of January 29, 2019, Jussie Smollett called the cops and reported that he had been a victim of a hate crime. The Empire State Star said bleach had been poured on him by 2 males who assaulted him and shouted homophobic and racial slurs.
I kept walking and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, "What did you just say to me?" And I see the attacker masked, and he said, "This MAGA country punches me right in the face." So I punched his back. And then we started tussling. You know, it was very icy. And we ended up tussling by the stairs. Fighting. There was a second person involved who was kicking me in my back.
The supposed crime ignited a media firestorm and massive police investigation. However, the police soon found that the whole thing had been a lie. Now, you're probably wondering why he had to stay the whole thing.
Now that is a good question.
He was eventually charged with disorderly conduct and the false reporting of a crime. Jussie's career had been on a downward spiral since then. He is now a kind of actor no movie studio wants to touch with a 10-foot pole. Number 8. Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish's fall from grace was wild to watch because she went from being one of the most loved black actresses to being a pariah in the twinkle of an eye. Tiffany Haddish and comedian Ari Spears were both sued by a 22-year-old woman and her 15-year-old brother, who both went by the names Jane Doe and John Doe respectively.
The lawsuit exposed her and comedian Ari Spears for being weirdos who made very weird and suggestive videos with kids.
The video was uploaded to the Funny or Die YouTube channel, but later got taken down with an apology that read,
"Funny or Die found this video absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content. We were not involved with the conceptualization, development funding, or production of this video. It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018 immediately after becoming aware of its existence."
Now, if you're wondering how bad the video actually is, well, what could be worse than a video titled "The Mind of a The alleged 2 separate incidents took place in 2013 and 2014 when the plaintiffs were just 14 and 7 respectively. Haddish and Spears' attorney dismissed all the allegations, but whether this is a cooked up story or not, Tiffany's life had never been the same following the news. Number 7. Isaiah Washington. Washington got fired from Grey's Anatomy ahead of the series' 4th season for using a homophobic slur against co-star T.R. Knight, both on set and at the 27 Golden Globe Awards.
No, I did not call T.R. It never happened.
While he initially denied ever using the slur at first, he later said it happened in the heat of the moment and followed up with an apology. "I can neither defend nor explain my behavior. I can also no longer deny to myself that there are issues I obviously need to examine within my own soul." As at the time of this video, Isaiah has retired from acting, which is a good choice if you ask me, because once you get blackballed in Hollywood, there is no coming back. Number 6. Will Smith. The 94th Academy Awards became the most watched award show ever. Host Chris Rock made a couple of jokes that were directed at Will Smith's wife. Will Smith initially laughed at these jokes, but then suddenly walked to the stage and slapped Chris Rock to another universe.
Oh, wow!
Many people expected Will Smith to offer some sort of apology during his tearful and lengthy acceptance speech, but nope. He never did. He allegedly failed to leave the event when asked to by the event organizers, and also failed to offer any apology to the man he had assaulted on camera, though he was to rectify this later on. He was banned from elite award shows and his ratings have been on a downward spiral since then. Do you think he deserves it? Leave us a comment down there. Number 5. Ja Rule. Ja Rule was in the midst of a successful music career when he was paid $15,000 for his appearance in The Fast and Furious.
Hey, Monique. What's up, baby?
What's your problem? You didn't win.
When he was asked to come back for a sequel, he increased the pay to $500,000. The director later revealed that Ja Rule got too big for himself, so he turned his size to ludicrous. Ja Rule, on the other hand, claimed that he considered taking the role, but ultimately wanted something different. We can only imagine the millions Ja Rule would have been raking in had he accepted to continue with the character. Wesley Snipes.
Ooh, so exciting, isn't it? Okay, here's your chance.
Wesley Snipes' career was taking off. He was known for many roles, but his career was derailed not because of his acting or even anything he did in public, but instead because he didn't pay his taxes.
Oh, here we go.
You would assume that he would just simply pay it back and it will be no big deal.
Nah.
But you see, his tax evasion was so humongous that he was actually sentenced to jail for his crimes.
I have been a client represented by people whom I trusted.
He was found guilty of willfully not filing taxes for 3 years and got 1 year in prison for every year he didn't pay his taxes. In total, Snipes paid $17 million to the government. His time in jail did put his career on hold, and when he finally came out, big studios didn't want to work with him anymore. His biggest appearances to date is in The Expendables and maybe Coming to America too?
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Number 3. CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green gained prominence in 2010 and he was actually a pretty big name in the industry. He even got some acting gigs as a result of his music success, and he started judging on The Voice. But it seems like his big mouth ended up getting him into trouble. In October 2012, he was accused of sexual assault and he ended up getting sentenced to probation and community service. But the real issue happened when he spoke about it on Twitter. Now listen to this. He basically argued that if someone passed out and someone else tries to take advantage of them, it's not violating them because they consented. Obviously, this makes no sense and is just incredibly disturbing. He also said if someone passed out, they are not even with you consciously, which implies consent. After this, he was kicked off TV and he was even kicked off from festivals that he planned on performing at. He's laid low ever since. Number 2. Monique Angela Hicks.
Steve, my family is suffering behind this. And y'all know I did nothing wrong. Y'all know my husband did nothing wrong. But none of y'all in real time, was strong enough to go publicly.
In 2010, Monique won an Oscar for her supporting role in the movie Precious. The future indeed looked great for her until everything started going downhill. She sat down with Steve Harvey on an interview and the conversation quickly became tense.
We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing, we got to flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game.
She talked about how she felt she got pushed aside in Hollywood years ago and also went on a rant about her Netflix boycott. She blamed Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry for trying to silence her. Number 1. Terence Howard. Terence Howard is one of the few most beloved actors in Hollywood. His portrayal of James Rose in the first Iron Man set the tone for all following sequels. However, when Iron Man 2 came out in 2010, he got replaced with Don Cheadle.
Next time, baby. There wasn't a next time.
The reason for the change? Well, Howard was asked to take a pay cut, which he declined. He had since expressed that losing the role had a significant impact on his career.
You know what's so funny? Even though I love Don Cheadle so much and I love what he's done, I still hear a lot of fans asking, am I going to come back and be War Machine? Yeah, am I going to come back and be War Machine? I think they could have a huge franchise off of it. But
nonetheless, he actually found tremendous success as an actor in 2015 when he joined the lead role in the TV show Empire. Do you think he would have been more popular if he hadn't turned down the role as War Machine? Do you think these actors and actresses deserve to be sidelined? Leave us a comment down there. Do share with a friend on Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter. As usual, I'm your host Murphy, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay beautiful, stay amazing, stay safe. Peace.